As we continue to evaluate the impact that COVID-19 virus is having on our sworn and civilian staff of our police department, we also want to evaluate the impact our actions have on our community. So effective immediately, what we're going to do is that we are relaxing our arrest posture, relaxing. We're going to encourage our officers to relax our arrest posture on certain misdemeanors, with the exception, of course, of high misdemeanors. And when I talk about high misdemeanors, I'm talking about criminal sexual conduct in the 4th degree, which is considered a misdemeanor. Certainly no relaxing on that. Any domestic violence, no relaxing on that. So this is an encouragement only, not an elimination, and certainly we are not relaxing our posture on felonies, all felonies. So I just want to make that abundantly clear, because I don't want to leave here with any of your viewers thinking that we're turning a blind eye to crime. We're not. Certainly we want to also encourage our officers to use more discretion concerning the issuance of citations and vehicle impounds. Again, when we talk about vehicle impounds, the exception to that is if the vehicle was used in any crime. The third area that we're going to encourage our officers to do is when they're involved in a radio call situation, particularly those that are non-critical, that they're mindful and practice the importance of social distancing. So, for example, on those non-critical calls, maybe it's some type of dispute, no weapons, no physical violence. The officer will meet the community member at the foot of their walkway. A community member can come out on the front porch and they can have a conversation from a safe distance. Again, the exception is, of course, the officers understand, we understand the importance that there may need to be some contact. We're also going to continue to encourage the use of our telephone crime reporting unit. Many use that service now, but we're going to encourage it, especially on those report only. And that number again is 313-267-4600. So what we're doing is adding additional positions to that unit, so there'll be more call takers. Right now, we see deploying some of our restricted duty officers in those positions that are not working in the field. And so, all in all, what we're trying to do is create a safe balance for both our community and our first responders, the police officers. One of the things that we haven't talked much about is the impact on our detention center. As it's been reported, there was someone who did contract the COVID virus, and so we're being thoughtful about this relaxation on certain misdemeanor crimes. Again, it's encouraged, but it's certainly not directed. And secondly, we also know that because of this virus, one thing that's very clear, we know many have been furloughed from their jobs. There's a loss of pay. And so when you talk about issuing citations, making minor arrests, misdemeanor arrests, or warrants, those things have financial implications. And we know how that can enhance stress. But make no mistake, again, I want to say it again, we are not turning a blind eye to crime. We believe that these actions alone will reduce the spread of the virus among our first responders and our community members. And the reason why I keep stressing the whole blind eye issue, I know my colleague out in Philadelphia took a similar posture, and it was determined that she was looking the other way on crime. We're not doing that, and I just want to continue to emphasize the importance of that. Again, as I've stated before, the evolution of COVID-19, it's constantly changing. We have to be in a way or in a place that we can pivot very quickly, evaluate how we conduct our business. And while we're still very early, one of the things that I stressed yesterday and will continue to stress today, that public safety is critically important to this department. We're not going to undermine or compromise that ever. Now, that doesn't mean that it may come a time that as the evolution of this virus continues, that we may have to make some other decisions concerning collapsing certain units that are non-essential. Again, we're not there. We're not doing that. Someone asked me yesterday, are you going to close police stations? No. We want our community to have access. In fact, while I was out visiting the 12th precinct yesterday, there was a citizen in making a stolen car report, and the officer assigned to the station created what we encourage, social distancing. He created a safe space. He was able to take the report. But again, we're also encouraging community members that have to make reports, let's do it over the phone. And again, I can't stress this enough. I said it yesterday. We'll continue to say it. I just want to applaud the great work by the men and women of this department. As I've said before, these are the individuals that run towards danger. We know this is a very critical time, and certainly, as I pointed out yesterday, I have not, in my tenure, ever seen anything that challenges first responders. And I've been through earthquakes, I've been through riots, but nothing like this. But I am encouraged because I have a great team, and they just do a wonderful job. And I want to also applaud both leadership of our unions, the Detroit Police Officers Association, the Lieutenants and Sergeants Association, for their leadership. We stay in constant communication. And so with that, I'll take any questions you might have.
When you said call to make a report, Chief, can you not make a report online? A police report?
I am not aware of online reporting, but we have a telephone crime reporting unit. I mean, you can go to the city's web and make notification of, say, issues or concerns in your community. But in terms of a crime report, you can do that through our telephone crime reporting unit.
What is that number, please?
Okay, that number again is 313-267-4600. I want to also stress that the question hasn't been asked. To date, no Detroit police officer has been diagnosed with COVID-19. We do have several that are on what we call self-quarantines, but no one has been diagnosed. But again, we have to take the precautions. As you know, our police officers, our operation is 24 hours, 7 days a week. Prisoners are placed in our police cars. So one of the things that we've changed dramatically in making sure that our police vehicles are disinfected on a regular basis, every couple of hours.
And are there additional items put in those vehicles for their own use, like wipes, gloves?
Yes, in the stations, we have disinfected towelettes in the vehicles. And so we encourage our officers, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
Would you say because of this COVID-19 outbreak, have you seen a reduction in police runs and calls anyways?
I can't say that we've seen a reduction. Certainly, there's been a little reduction in some of the violence. What we are seeing, because of, undoubtedly, we're seeing more argument-based calls. Several of our recent shootings have been the result of arguments. So we know there's a heightened stress in our community. And so that's to be expected. But again, we're trying to make adjustments as we can. Again, next week I might be telling you something different relative to how we respond to calls. But just know, we will always respond to priority calls for service. That's the exception. But we've not changed our operational posture relative to non-priority. Those calls will still be handled. But we understand that it could come a time where a station's impacted, and we have to make adjustments.
Channel 7 Facebook
You know, that's a great question. The question again, are we going to change how we deploy our partners together? We're going to deploy one-person police cars. No, we're not. I mean, we do have some officers that are deployed as a one officer in a car, like our traffic enforcement detail. I have no plans of making that adjustment. I guess the second part of the question, are we going to make adjustments to an officer working with a partner? We've not talked about it. I don't see any need to do that. What's key here is that we don't want officers or civilians coming to work sick. We just don't want that. If you're sick, stay home. And that's the same information that's being given out. But we're mindful of the impact. Certainly when you talk about a station where a number have gotten ill, that causes concern. Do we quarantine the whole station? Again, we do have several members of the department that are in self-quarantine right now, but again, no one is being diagnosed with COVID-19. Any other questions? Nothing? Nothing from social media? Okay, with that, thank you very much. All right.